Good evening, everyone. Yahweh bless you. Tonight, we're going to read the names for chapter 13. The Almighty not only tells us the historic aspect of what we read in each chapter, where we find names, whether of land or of people, but he also, through those names, through the meanings of each of those names, he gives us a revelation that is deeper, pretty much in the level of Sod, which is the fourth level of the four levels of interpretation of scriptures. So, other than the literal of what we understand from a story where it says that Abraham had Yitzhak and he had Jacob, and then he had the 12 tribes who were Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, etc. We can also see revelation to the meanings of those names by translating those names. The father of multitudes, he will laugh when he supplants the Elohim with whom he contends, and he will rule like a mighty one. That is his son, who is heard and who is a crown, and who will unite with the praise of Yahweh, etc., etc. So what I just did was just translate the names that I mentioned before that: Abraham, Yitzhak, Jacob. I added Israel. So when it comes to the last chapter of Nehemia and the names that we have there, I'll begin right away. He who was drawn from water. Moshe means drawn from water. Water represents death. That's why being immersed in water represents dying to the old self and being born again in the new reality of Mashiach. So Moshe, pretty much his name represents resurrection itself. Ammon, which is the root of this word, means of the people. Moab is the root of this word, and it means of the father or from the father. He who contends with Elohim, who will rule like Elohim. Bilam, not of the people, and then he continues. All right. So I'm saying all of that, and you're not even seeing the names. So there you go. So back to it. He who was drawn from water, he who was resurrected for the people of the Father. So he who was resurrected for the people of the Father, like Yahushua, who resurrected in order to give life to Israel. He who was resurrected was from the people, or for the people, came from the Father, for Yahweh prevails, and he will rule like the mighty one. And look how then it comes not of the people. Bilam. Bilam is a person that represents the false prophet. It means not of the people, because the false prophet is not of the people. Isn't it interesting that a true prophet is not heard by his own people, but Bilam was heard because he was not of the people? What I mean is that normally people listen to false prophets, but when a real one comes, they reject the prophet mostly because they know the person, as in there is no prophet in their own land. So back to Moshe. He who was resurrected for the people comes from the Father, for Yahweh prevails. He will contend with the Elohim that is not of the people. So Yahweh is for his people. Satan is not of the people. So Yahweh has to come to contend or fight with him. So he who was resurrected as the first for the people of Israel came from the Father, Yahweh, for he prevails. But Israel, remember, means he who fights Elohim, for he contends with the Elohim that is not of the people. He will rule like Elohim, and Elohim will restore, for Yahweh is good. Remember that life is connected to the first, good is connected to the last. So it kind of, this name so far could be taken as he who came first to bring salvation to the people came from the Father. But now Yahweh has to come to contend with the Elohim who is not of the people, and he will prevail, and then he will be restored, for Yahweh is good. Once again, Yahweh is good, so he will join the teaching of Shalom. He will add the teaching of Shalom, the instruction of peace, for Elohim restores. So even though Satan has made sure that everybody forgets his name, the name of the Father and the Son, and the true doctrine, Yahweh will restore it. So Jerusalem, the teaching of Shalom, Yahweh will restore it, for Yahweh is good. Yahweh is good. That's why he must be praised. He who praises Yahweh will be repaid by Yahweh. We could say Yahushua praised Yahweh through his sacrifice, so Yahweh will give him the authority and the power to give life. Well, already did. But also we could say any person who praises Yahweh, Yahweh will give a reward to that person. So he who praises Yahweh will be repaid by Yahweh, for he is righteous. Yahweh has ransomed those whom he will crown and who will be joined to his mercy, for he is mindful of the gift of Yahweh, which we could say is mercy, or like I mentioned earlier, is the last, who praises Yahweh by instructing Shalom. During the tribulation, he praises Yahweh by teaching Shalom. He praises Yahweh and contends with the Elohim of this world by throwing the teaching of Shalom with the bow and arrow, for his war is spiritual, as we see in Ephesians 6 and also in Revelation 6 regarding the last that comes on a white horse. That means he comes to do war, but spiritual war. That's why he's white, spiritual. Horse, war, with a bow, to throw the teaching of Shalom, the teaching of peace, the instruction that will be joined to every Yahudi, that will be joined to those who praise Yahweh. This could be seen as, I will spoil, but let me just check it real quick. Verse 23. In the concordance, that is the name, Ashdod. It means powerful, right? You can see that. Powerful, Ashdod. That is the name that is following in the chapter. Now we go to the translator, we have Ashdod, that same name, and we see it right here on the right. But if I take this second part out, we have Esh, right? I put it back, Ashdod. I take the first part, we have David, which is translated as uncle, because the uncle is beloved. So that's why it is written the same, but it's pronounced differently. Dod is uncle, David is the King David, but they are written the same. So Ashdod, like that, would mean the fire of David, which is powerful. The last who comes as the consuming fire to sit on the throne of David. So with that in mind, let me go back to the names. The teaching of Shalom, which will be joined to those who praise Yahweh, who will be powerful, or those who praise Yahweh with the fire of David. Those who praise Yahweh will be powerful. That will be the main or the first interpretation. But the second one, by separating the name, would be who praise Yahweh with the fire of David, which is interesting because David would praise Yahweh through Psalms, in Psalms, for instance. And that was how he praised Yahweh. So praise Yahweh with the fire of David. who had a heart like Yahweh, so he prayed with passion in the positive sense, of course. So those who are joined to the praise of Yahweh, who are powerful with the fire of David, the fire of the beloved, in that case, the consuming fire of the last, who comes for the people of the Father, who are powerful. The fire of David praises Yahweh. The fire of the beloved praises Yahweh, for he gives shalom, and he will rule like Elohim. For Yahweh knows, and Yahweh restores the strength. Yahweh restores the strength. Let me look at this name real quick. Horoni, native of Horonaim. This comes from Horonaim, and that means two caves. Hor is a cave, so Horonaim, two caves at least, or caves in plural. So going back to the names. For Yahweh knows, and Yahweh restores those who were in the two caves, or those who were in the caves. Two caves, like those who were in the two parts of Sheol, hell and paradise. They will be resurrected for judgment day. But we could also say caves, as in general, those who are in Sheol, those who are dead, dead. I'm sorry. So I wanted to say something else. Oh yeah, two caves. If we see it as two caves, we could speak about those who were before Mashiach and those who came after, or also few and the many. Obviously, the many don't go. I mean, the few don't go to Sheol, but the point of having two parts of the people is what I mean. So those who are dead, Yahweh will restore. So Yahweh knows, and he will restore strength to those who are in Sheol, in the caves, who will be joined to the crown, meaning to the kingdom. And that's how that chapter also ends.